After an ankle sprain, the pressure of flossing reduces pain while providing resistance to rebuild strength, and then allowing you to rebuild stronger than you were before the injury. And as someone who was told by a doctor this left knee would never fully bend again, I believe a pair of floss bands, which are only 30 bucks on average, are the best knee treatment combined with a full knee ability program. To be clear, flossing is not one of my main knee ingredients. I only use it on 10% or less of clients, but back when I was experimenting on my knees twice a day, doing stuff that didn't make it in the program, I found these got me back on track faster than any other expensive treatment. Now I haven't had a knee setback in 10 years, but about 5 years ago, I landed on someone's foot, spraining my ankle, and knowing how to use these was invaluable. So I think there's something every coach or athlete should be skilled in. Now the exact ankle sprain protocol. That was the last major injury I had. Landed on someone's foot after a jump. The size of the heel of a basketball shoe increases the size of a sprain. That's ultimately why I made a basketball shoe with a lower heel, because it was just so upsetting to me that that giant heel is done for style. It increases your risk of ankle injury by 4 times. And once you've had one ankle injury, it's hard to get out of that cycle. So it's unnecessary having a super giant heel. Try to find a shoe with less of a heel. The Kobe Bryant and the Uncivilized sneaker are the lowest on the market currently. So I had this ankle sprain, and because I knew about flossing, I'm in bed, and it was so painful that, like, to get up to try to go to the bathroom was just excruciating. But I found that if I attached a floss band, starting really getting around that ankle, this reduced the pressure. I could then crawl my way to the bathroom with less excruciating pain after. You'll see why we made our floss bands so thick. A normal one is about that width. So these are actually like thicker and wider than a normal floss band, so you can really get it pinned down. From here, I was not only able to get around easier, I was then able to start to work out the stiffness and get strength. So this provides resistance. It also almost gives like a massage type effect around the ankle. You can do reps straight forward. You can go in one direction. You can go in the other direction. I would sort of rep out 10, then switch 10. In hindsight, it might be simpler to tell you, okay, throughout the day, start out, go up and back until this tibialis muscle is on fire, and then take them off. Then later in the day, the next time, do circles in one direction. Then the next time, later in the day, do circles in the other direction. And I think if you're getting each of those 3 directions to burnout, well, you're getting strengthening when it's really hard to, and you're loosening up the area, so now you can bring new nutrients in to heal. So for me and a lot of others, with that stage 1 of the protocol, we're able to heal from ankle sprains a lot faster. Now, right with this same tool, you can do 2 new stages. One is you can put this band, now you would have your shoe on for this stage 2 of 2 different exercises. And you would have the band under like the Achilles area. And now by going to one side, you'll see your shoe will give it some grip. Now you can get in this way. Now I'm not saying to rush into that, but this is cool that right from here, it allows you to get strength and flexibility into that lateral aspect of the ankle. And then by switching that band around the other way, okay, now I'm gonna be able to twist it this way and then strengthen to the inside. And in addition to that, I'm gonna stop here, show a little real life action. Once you get that first one going, now you can use the hands there and you can kind of go back and forth. I used to have to do this for a gym full of people doing this exercise, so I got really used to doing this. You'll get used to it. Now, because of stage 1, you got yourself back able to walk and get into the gym. So it took me a few days even to be able to get into the gym. Then once in the gym, you can do the exercise I just showed, and you can start to add loads. You'd start with like the lightest load. If you tilt the dumbbell a bit, it tends to stay there. You would want to get this hooked around. So you've now got it in this position. And from here, well, now you just wrap it around. Again, with this thicker band, it's going to be a lot easier. If you're using a thinner band, let's say less wide of a band, just make sure it's actually on there before you just go randomly lean the weight out. From here, you can hold on and gently reach the heel out. So now, boom, you have a loaded tibialis. And that free weight, you really feel the stabilizer. At first, people will be wobbling all around. So you can get full stretch in this position, full strength here. Again, if you had to go 1 pound, and 2 pounds and so on. My ankle, after sprain about 10 years ago, stayed stiffer than the other ankle year after year after. It didn't change until I actually added these motions in. So it was actually after the second major sprain on the same ankle 5 years ago that I then fully overcame the issues because of getting into ankle training. I'm not saying you have to do this. If the straight up and down reps are working, that might be enough combined with the last drill I showed you. I found even greater benefit to get rid of last little bits of issue in there by thinking to do circles now with the weight. Same thing, I think you could go into the gym and I think you could do 3 sets. A set straight up and back, a set of circles one way, and a set of circles the other way. But I wouldn't force that one. I would see if you can recover easily without doing that one. That happened to work for me, so I'm sharing it. And then the third stage, and I'm going to do this just so you can see that even now I'm going to absolute failure in this tibialis muscle. And then stage 3, trifecta, the big 3 for the lower leg. You want something for the calf where the leg is straight, something for the calf where the knee is bent, and something for the tibialis. So I then did tons of 0 program, and when not doing 0 program, single leg standing calf raise, single leg seated calf raise, all the loaded tibialis stuff. So I was able to build back much, much, much more stable than I was before. And I haven't had to keep in lateral ankle stuff by just having those basics in, but I use those to rebuild. So there you go, 3-stage formula with just that band. Pretty cool. Now, with someone who's actually using floss bands, we're gonna kind of follow Court around. Court is one of the highest jumpers in the world. Similar to me injuring my ankle landing on someone, he injured his knee awkwardly landing on someone from a high jump. Yep. This is part of basketball. In doing so, we did find out and uncover by digging in that his left quads were quite a bit smaller than the right quads. In basketball, it's not uncommon to build up a certain type of jump that builds one side of the body more than the other. Years can go by, especially if you're an elite jumper. You're putting so much force you don't realize an imbalance is created. So he's now having to work out an imbalance while healing. He's trying to go without doing the surgery route. Last week he was back flying thanks to the routine he's been doing. So help us out here. You're actually having to go through it and rebuild balance from one leg to the other. So how are you using these floss bands on that left side?
First thing that I kind of go through is you have 2 parts of the floss band that you use. One side is thicker than the other. So I would put this on the top part of my leg. And what this is doing is contracting the top blood flow from the area that has any type of damage or, and in this case with these new floss bands, it's pretty thick. So it's best to, sometimes when people start off, they don't have it as tight as they should be because they feel like their leg is going to lose circulation, but that's kind of what you want to go for. And the more you cut the circulation off, the more blood flow is going to come back after you're done warming up. For me, for my bottom side, I put it above my patella tendon and I rotate it below the knee, which is going to stop the blood flow on that side. But I mean, ideally, when you first start off with the floss bands, you kind of try to think about like, when do I take them off or when should I, like what's the time period? But honestly, it's no real time period because the pump that you get in your leg may take time for individual people, So
yeah,
for me, it may take 5 minutes. For other people, it may take 10. And
there's no such thing as too little. Someone could start with a minute. And ultimately, the goal is to never have to use these again. Like his goal is to not have to use these because the legs are just even and there is no imbalance.
Yeah, no imbalance. And for me, the first thing I go through is either sledding, but since we got the backwards treadmill, I like to hop on this. I mean, personally, I will go for about 5 minutes, but as I keep going, the burn kind of, starts up, and I like to feel the burn for me personally, because as long as you're at a pain-free level, I think it's fine. And with the floss bands, it helps temporarily take the pain away once the blood flow is getting through that. And the whole point of the floss band is once you take it off, the natural healer of the body is the blood. So you got tendons, ligaments, cartilage that doesn't have the mainstream of blood flow like the muscles do. So as you pump that leg up, the blood flow that you need to heal the internal knee is going to happen because of the floss bands itself after you take them off. So I'll just do this for about 5 or 10 minutes. As long as I can put my knee over my toe and push through each step. And I kind of take my time with the backwards treadmill and kind of like really contract my quads. Some people like stop halfway, but it's best to always contract your quad. That way you can get the real burn. For me personally.
We definitely find for rehab purposes, this is great because with the sled, you have to turn it around. Your steps might be choppier on a sled. With this, you can like really control it and zone in, start small, feel out what feels best.
And with the muscles contracting now, I mean, you could go for longer, but just off how many, like it's like a minute right now, I can feel the burn. All right.
It's probably good advice for someone to start with.
Yeah.
No need to push it. Like it's a long game of bulletproofing the knees. Now, is this the only thing you do with it? Do you do more with them? Do you now take them off, get into your workouts?
So for me, I'll probably go with the backwards treadmill and then.
So you take them off now, right?
I take them off after the first set of my step ups.
Okay, so you go from here to the step up.
Yeah, so if I'm doing the sledding or if I'm doing the treadmill backwards, I will go from that
I'll put it right
and do one set of my step ups, because you don't want to, I mean, you can keep it on, but you want to make sure that you just get the blood flow going before you even try to keep the floss bands on. So ideally you can take it off after the treadmill or, you know, the sledding. But for me, I kind of get my feel of making sure that my quad is contracting when I'm going to the bottom. Like right now, I can tell that I can take it off now because I can feel my quad contracting.
I see. So you use it to get to where you do feel it contracting, then you can take it off.
Yeah, so like now,
so you're using it the minimum dose.
Exactly.
And to give different viewpoints on this, for me, it was easier to get things burning with this short range stuff. And I've only used those to hold on to something and try to bend the knees deeply. Mm-hmm. And then I would do the same thing, is I would use that to then take it off.
See,
and
now
then work on exercise.
I have no pain doing this.
Yeah.
No pain.
This is a big change from a few months ago.
I have no pain doing this now because I
huge.
took the time for this quad to contract. Because usually, if I don't do flossing before, I'm using more tendons than I am with my quads. So now once I get that blood pumping and then making my brain tell my muscles in my quad to, yo, you got to contract to protect everything else around it. Yep. Now I'm able to do that.
You can see the muscle forming, and I can tell it's not quite as formed as this one. But by starting and finishing each exercise he does on this side, then this will gradually catch up to the other side. And then on the court, realizing that he's a right-left jumper, and there's a torque so that this leg actually goes way more, like you use way more quads on this leg, and this one more stops you. It doesn't bend as much. So for him, this leg became like this more dominant leg. And then think about landing from these 50-inch jumps. Now you're landing, but with one side that has more muscle to catch the landing.
Exactly.
So believe it or not, for him now, we're training, when he goes on the court, we're actually training him to also jump that way. That will increase his total power between legs, and it'll help balance up those muscles. So that would be, the recipe for him would be gradually applying jump balance, gradually applying single leg exercises, and starting and finishing, meaning if he was going to do 3 sets on this side and 2 sets on that side, he'd go set, set, set. He would start and finish on that side, and it could gradually catch up.
Well, right now what I'm doing is going to failure, because the more I push through this exercise, I feel like I can get a deeper step. So even adding an extra layer of like elevation to my foot, but as long as I'm staying at a pain-free level, that's the whole goal. Like, you can go as many reps as you want to, but it's good to follow the program and what you should be doing. But at any point in time you feel any type of pain, I suggest you stop, because there's no point. It's always good to floss before you do anything, so you can help your body, you know, get the blood flow that is needed. And now he's about to do.
But now it would be good to get over here and look at your right leg.
Yeah.
So if we look first from this side angle, it's absolutely amazing. I remember starting this. I had to start on something low. I had to balance on something. This was before there was Buddy, so I would have to balance like a slant board, like on something, which was kind of scary. And I remember I was like, I started exactly like that.
But it's crazy though, because I can, like my right leg.
Right, so here's his right leg, and he can do this on the right leg, but we're not even going to try that on the left leg.
Yeah, at all.
And in the workout, he's actually not going to train the right leg there. He's just going to match it.
Right there.
And you want to let it catch up. So over time, over years because we work on our body for years, over years of building, like this is totally pain-free. So now every time I work on this and I put the intention to control here, explode up, I'm only lowering to the heel there. So I can't cheat. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know the exact height. Every time I do this, my knee gets a little bit more bulletproof. I never ever work through pain. I never ever work at any imbalanced area. Like if there was pain on one side, I would never work the other side. So now it's crazy how I don't get any pain in here, but the same exercise would have caused pain some time ago. So just doing this over time,
yeah,
it's insane how easy the same game, the same jump can become that was once injurious to the knee.
But see, the best part about even doing these step-ups is, for an example, my left leg is weaker than my right. So a lot of stuff when I'm landing, my left leg is taking a lot more pressure. But if I can't do a 3-inch elevated step-up, why am I doing?
It's a great point.
You know?
He's falling from 50-inch jumps. I mean, like head over the rim.
Yeah.
So injury is not only your own, it's your own ability, but it's also your ability relative to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If he only had a 30-inch jump, he probably never would have had a problem. He probably wouldn't have even been in position to land on someone awkward. Exactly. The higher you can jump, the more potential damage when you land, landing on somebody. Like if he wouldn't have had the freak injury landing on somebody, he wouldn't even be in this video. However, how old are you?
24, about to be 25.
24, 25. We never even realized the imbalance. So by learning and mastering it, he could end up going beyond what he ever has before. If you look at this jump from last week that he's already hitting, like when that left leg is just, like right there, like he's gonna go even, his potential, your potential is even greater once you master how to bulletproof your body.
Exactly.
So
for me too, as well, is like the point that I'm looking at is when I'm landing on the ground is this part. This is me landing right now. So if I'm able to control this to this point and then perform by the jump, that's the difference between protecting yourself and showing performance. So this is the landing. I'm landing now, right? And then this is before I jump. So until I'm able to protect my knee on my landing, there's no reason for me to come up like this until I'm able to control the amount of load or distance that I have to get from this point to this point.
Yep. Well, I super appreciate you being in this video. Our staff, we have the world's highest jumping weekly basketball game.
Yeah, we do.
So I want to see between him and some of these other guys, it's getting really exciting. We're going to bring you more videos and tips on the jumping. He really dedicates his life to mastering jumping and also to helping other people, because the knee is the #1 breaking point for jumping.
Yeah,
I mean, millions of people get jumper's knee, and that area has not been explored enough beyond take painkillers, and painkillers are a recipe for surgery. You start taking, this is how it happened to me. My high school coach told me to take painkillers for my knee. Well, now I'm out there thinking life is good. Wake up the next morning, my knee doesn't bend. So painkillers are a recipe for surgery. You can't feel the pain. Now adrenaline gets going, whatever. Now you put yourself in position.
Band-aid,
really,
Band-aid,
exactly,
Band-aid.
Exactly.
See, but for me though, I'm not even trying to cut you off, but
no, I'm glad.
How I'm looking at it is that with my knee pain that I'm going through, I have a decision to make between, can I sit down and just play the game all day or go do nothing? Or can I figure out what's wrong with my knee so I can help everybody else out? Like that's the goal for me, is like not only better myself with my knee and helping me jump higher, but it's thousands and hundreds of thousands of other people going through the same stuff I'm going through, and through the ATG system and the principles that we have, we figure out what can we do to improve everyone else rather than just ourselves. So that's my goal, is to help everybody out.
I have no doubt, because I was a low jumper who had bad knees and gradually worked my way out. You were a super high jumper, so he accumulated an imbalance beyond what I could even create at a 19-inch jump. You can't create that much imbalance. So I have no doubt that he will be the #1 jumper's knee coach that there is. And life is a series of these things that happen to us. And it's like, do we look at that as a bad thing? Or is there some way to turn that to our advantage? And I couldn't believe it. He literally just moved down to Florida a few months ago to just take this head on. I mean, this is unbelievable. So thanks for what you're doing. Please make sure to follow him, and we'll see you up in the air.
Yes, sir.
Before we finish the video, let's take a quick look at how Mama uses floss bands. For the ankle, I remember actually using the floss bands to strap the dumbbell on her foot like I would do with all the early ATG members. Now, she says she regularly does the wall. Let's see what that looks like. So out of convenience, you do this most often.
Yeah, because you can do it anywhere. Anywhere. You could be waiting for something. You could... Oh, here we go. Yes, sir.
This is how I also make sure she gets her workouts in. She has no choice. She's the hardest worker I know. She would just work all day long and not get her own workouts in.
That's true.
Now she has no choice for YouTube.
No choice.
So you do this one the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And then, but she also says she really likes the tib bar.
Yeah, I like this.
So let's see what this looks like.
This is more of a challenge, and I enjoy it.
Awesome.
Okay.
You just have Dad put this there? Or
Oh, no, 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 no.
Let's see how you do
It's
it.
down here, and I just go like this. And
Nice.
I just get back on the bench like that. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. So you like this one because of the full stretch or the
Yeah,
loading,
you
or-
get, you get that full stretch in the ankle. And it's a little more challenging. I can increase the weight on it. I go up to 15
It's a great teaching point.
pounds.
Because if we compare it to the wall, when someone's at more advanced levels, you can actually get that full range of motion. So for me, this is just as challenging as a tib bar because I can stand farther out. However, you could, even here, you could start, so even if you walk out farther, it's easier one leg at a time. So you could even start or finish sets like this.
I like to try that.
Yeah. So let's say you already fatigued here. So for you, probably you would fatigue on 2 legs, then you would switch 1 leg at a time.
Oh, that's harder out there.
Yeah, it's harder, but now you could stay out there.
Okay,
could
and just do one
now
leg.
do 1 at a time. Yeah. So you could go.
Oh, look
yeah.
at that.
So you could go until you feel an ankle, like you could go more range of motion. And then you
Oh,
feel one.
yeah.
It's something.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool to know. It's interesting that.
No, you're right.
Yeah, and like for me, I can get in here on 1 leg and really simulate that force of basketball 1 leg at a time. So it's interesting that as you get more advanced, it actually gets like easier to train the body without tools.
That's cool.
Oh, go ahead.
That's cool.
Someone struggling to walk though would have to start close, 1 foot at a time, or the tib bar because you could go 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how she generally addresses the ankles. She doesn't have to do any direct flossing of the ankles or the knees. Last but not least though, is she uses this for band pull-aparts. Great for strengthening between the shoulder blades. Don't have to overthink it. The arms are straight. You rip the band apart. I love this thicker one because I'm finally able to just get like a real workout in that upper back. So out of convenience, I actually often use this in the ATG workouts because I can take the upper back muscles to failure. Let's see you do a real set here. Do you feel that or do you have to grip
yeah.
closer? You do? Okay.
Oh, I totally feel it.
So those muscles between the shoulder blades are some of the weakest in modern humans naturally. So this is great. Not that this is better than lifting weights, but it's cool that you could just like have this on your chair at your office and you could get in some reps. Convenience matters. Consistency matters over time. So this is a great one for Mom.
I actually keep the floss band hooked over the door in my office, and I can take a break whenever. And because since I'm sitting so much.
Yeah. For the average person, the trick is not just forcing them to exercise, but finding a way to put it into your lifestyle. So that's what she does. She spaces ATG programs over the course of her day.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is some of the stuff she can do. Tibialis, strengthening between the shoulder blades. So, thank you, Mama, for demonstrating. Thank you, ATG members, for supporting us. She runs the customer service. If you got any problems, you don't go to me. You got to go.
I'll take care of you.
Yeah. Thanks to those of you now doing our coaching certification, and thanks to everyone supporting our products. See ya.